For years, whispers surrounded Prince Andrew and his connection to the late Jeffrey Epstein.
Why have you decided to talk now?
Because there is no good time to talk about Mr. Epstein and all things.
Now, in a shocking turn of events, the Duke of York is finally stepping out of the shadows. Did he come clean? Did the walls finally close in? Prepare for a royal rumble of epic proportions. We'll crack open the latest on Andrew's confession, the impact on the monarchy, and what this all means for the future of the crown. Don't skip, because we are about to find out what Prince Andrew finally admits. Early life and military service. The third child and second son of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Andrew was born on the 19th of February 1960 at 3:30 p.m. in the Belgian suite of Buckingham Palace. On April 8, 1960, he was baptized in the music room of the palace. Following Princess Beatrice's birth in 1857, Andrew became the first British king to have a child while in reign. Andrew, like his brothers Charles, Anne, and Edward, was educated by a governess at Buckingham Palace while she cared for him. His punishment was to attend Heatherdown School in Berkshire, close to Ascot. Gordonstown in northern Scotland was attended by his father and elder brother, and he joined there in September 1973. His classmates at Gordonstown affectionately called him the Sniggerer due to his penchant for off-color jokes, at which he laughed inordinately. He went on an exchange scheme to Canada's Lakefield College School for 6 months, from January 1977 to June 1977. After completing his A-levels in economics, history, and English at Gordonstown, he departed in July of the following year. In November 1978, the royal household announced that Andrew will be joining the Royal Navy the following year. During December, he was interviewed at the Admiralty Interview Board on HMS Sultan, as well as conducted additional tests and examinations at HMS Daedalus and the Aircrew Selection Center at RAF Biggin Hill. He enrolled in pilot school at the Royal Naval College Flight in March and April 1979 and remained there for 12 years, beginning on the 11th of May 1979, when he was admitted as a trainee helicopter pilot. Andrew joined Britannia Royal Naval College in Dartmouth on the 1st of September of that year after being appointed midshipman. In 1979, he also earned the Green Beret for successfully completing the Royal Marines All-Arms Commando course. On the 1st of September 1981, he was commissioned as a sub-lieutenant, and on the 22nd of October, he was appointed to the trained strength. Following his unsuccessful attempt at clearing Dartmouth, Andrew enrolled in the Royal Air Force's Fundamental Flight School at RAF Leeming. He subsequently completed the Navy's basic flying instruction at HMS Seahawk, where he became proficient in piloting the Gazelle helicopter. Upon receiving his wings, he proceeded to get more training on the Sea King helicopter and continued to teach pilots how to fly until 1982. He is a member of the 820 Naval Air Squadron, which is based on aircraft carriers, and he served on the HMS Invincible, personal life, relationship, and marriage. As a dedicated golfer, Andrew has maintained a handicap in the low single figures. He oversaw the 2003-2004 season, which coincided with the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrew's 250th anniversary, as captain of the club. He also served as patron of other Royal golf clubs and was elected as an honorary member of numerous others. In 2004, Andrew came under fire from Labour Co-op MP Ian Davidson, who questioned his choice to use RAF planes to travel to St. Andrews for 2 golf vacations and sent a letter to the NAO expressing his concerns. Once the Queen severed royal patronages at multiple golf clubs, Andrew withdrew as an honorary member of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews. The following month, the Royal Dornoch Golf Club terminated his honorary membership. Andrew is a senior liveryman of the city's maritime livery company, the Worshipful Company of Shipwrights. Prior to Andrew's active duty in the Falklands War, in February 1981, he met Koo Stark, an American photographer and actor. The two of them went on a vacation to Moustique in October 1982. The only genuine romantic interest Andrew had, according to Tina Brown, was Stark. Press, paparazzi, and palace pressure led to their 1983 breakup. Godfather duties for Stark's daughter were assumed by Andrew in 1997. In 2015, Andrew faced accusations related to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and Stark stepped in to defend him. Andrew wed Sarah Ferguson on July 23, 1986, at Westminster Abbey. The same day that he was appointed Duke of York, Elizabeth II also made him Earl of Inverness and Baron Killyleagh. His great-grandfather and maternal grandfather had previously held the first two titles. Prince Andrew and Ferguson had known one another since they were kids. They ran into each other at polo events from time to time, and they reconnected in 1985 at Royal Ascot. They gave off the impression of being a happy married couple in the late 1980s, when they had two daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. The informal convention that surrounded the royal family was shaken up by Sarah's personal attributes. Unfortunately, the marriage was strained because of Andrew's military profession, which required him to travel frequently. Additionally, the Duchess of York was the subject of constant and, at times, harsh media attention. The couple amicably revealed their separation plans on March 19, 1992. Any possibility of Andrew and Ferguson reconciling was dashed in August of that year when tabloid media sources released images of John Bryan sucking Sarah's toes. Prince Andrew bought into the Duchess's assertion that Bryan had been her financial advisor during their split. Divorce was finalized on May 30, 1996. In 2008, while discussing his ex-wife, the Duke of York said, "We have managed to work together to bring our children up in a way that few others have been able to, and I am extremely grateful to be able to do that." Video footage from May 2010 shows Sarah speaking to a News of the World reporter about Andrew's promise to meet the donor and provide valuable connections in the business world in exchange for £500,000. The footage shows her accepting a down payment of $40,000. Andrew was alleged in the article to have been unaware of the arrangement. Sarah compared her ex-husband to a knight on a white charger and claimed that he intervened to discharge her multi-million-pound debts in July 2011. After receiving money from Jeffrey Epstein to settle a debt on her behalf, Sarah acknowledged that she had made a gigantic error of judgment and apologized in 2012. Nonetheless, she persisted in defending Andrew's contentious past association with Epstein. Andrew faced allegations of sexual abuse. Jeffrey Epstein, a U.S. businessman found guilty of sex trafficking in 2008, was Andrew's friend. The friendship was reportedly generating a steady stream of criticism and demands for his resignation as trade ambassador, according to a March 2011 BBC News story. When Andrew's ex-wife Sarah came clean about how he had helped arrange for Epstein to pay off £15,000 of her debts, he was again the target of public criticism. On a December 2010 trip to New York City, Andrew and Epstein were pictured strolling through Central Park. Reportedly, Andrew severed all connections with Epstein after his position as trade envoy was terminated in July 2011. Legal representatives Bradley J. Edwards and Paul G. Cassell filed a complaint in a Florida court on December 30, 2014, accusing Andrew of having engaged in sexual relations with a minor, later identified as Virginia Giuffre, then known as Virginia Roberts, who was allegedly a victim of human trafficking by Epstein. The complaint named Alan Dershowitz and a former prime minister as other major figures. Even though Andrew wasn't a party to the 2008 lawsuit that accused the U.S. Justice Department of violating the Crime Victims' Rights Act during Epstein's first criminal case by not allowing multiple victims to challenge his plea deal, an affidavit from Giuffre was included in the case. Buckingham Palace was once again under intense public and media scrutiny in January 2015 as questions about Andrew's relationship with Epstein arose. Officials from Buckingham Palace have firmly denied any suggestion of impropriety with underage minors and have reiterated their denial multiple times. Andrew did not respond to the attorneys representing Giuffre's requests that he make an under-oath statement regarding the accusations. Andrew allegedly had intercourse with Giuffre 3 times. The first was in 2001, when she was 17 years old during a vacation to London. The second and third times were in New York and on Little St. James in the U.S. Virgin Islands. She claimed that after having sex with Andrew in London, Epstein paid her $15 grand. Andrew and Giuffre were in the locations where she claimed they met, according to the flight records. Despite repeated claims by Andrew's allies that the photo is doctored, there is evidence of a shot of Andrew and Jeffrey together, with his arm around her waist and an associate of Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, in the background. She wouldn't have dared object because Epstein, through his contacts, could have her killed or abducted if Jeffrey refused to have sex with Andrew, according to Jeffrey. Judge Kenneth Mara issued an order striking from public record the sex allegations made against Andrew in court papers filed in Florida on the 7th of April 2015. Mara stated that Jeffrey may provide proof when the case goes to court, but she did not rule on the veracity of Jeffrey's assertions. According to a deposition that Juan John Alessi, who was butler to Epstein, submitted in 2016 for Jeffrey's defamation lawsuit against Maxwell, Andrew's previously unrecognized excursions to the Palm Beach residence of Epstein were more common than initially believed. An assertion that Andrew spent weeks with us and enjoyed daily massages was firmly stood by him. Johanna Schoberg, one of two girls named in the August 2019 court records linked to the defamation action between Jeffrey and Maxwell, testified that Andrew had touched her breast in the shot they had taken at Epstein's estate with his spitting image puppet. Subsequently that month, Andrew issued a statement in which he stated, "At no stage during the limited time I spent with Epstein did I see, witness, or suspect any behavior of the sort that subsequently led to his arrest and conviction," while also expressing remorse for meeting Epstein in 2010, following his first guilty plea to sex crimes. The New Republic published an email exchange between John Brockman and Evgeny Morozov from September 2013. In the email, Brockman mentioned that on his last visit to Epstein's mansion in 2010, he saw a British man called Andy getting a foot massage from two Russian women. He later realized that His Royal Highness, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, was the recipient of the message. According to a federal lawsuit filed in July 2020 by Caroline Kaufman, an alleged victim of Epstein, Andrew was observed visiting Epstein's New York residence in December 2010. During Ghislaine Maxwell's trial in November 2021, Epstein's pilot Lawrence Visosky testified that Prince Andrew was among the notables who traveled on Epstein's private plane, which also carried Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and John Glenn. Visosky claimed he did not observe any inappropriate behavior or sexual encounters on board. Similarly, Epstein's pilot David Rogers noted Andrew's name in his logbook on the 12th of May, 2001. Rogers said that Andrew flew 3 times that year with Epstein and Jeffrey. To prove that Epstein and Maxwell were partners, the jury saw a photo of them the following month. The shot was taken at a cabin on the Queens Balmoral estate in 1999 at Andrew's request. Anthony Figueroa, who was in a relationship with Virginia Giuffre before they broke up, claimed on Good Morning Britain on January 5, 2022, that Giuffre had informed him that Epstein would accompany her to see Prince Andrew. He said that London was the location of the encounter. Crystal Figueroa, Andrew's sister, had previously referenced a remark in a court file in which she said that Giuffre had asked her, "Do you know any girls who are kind of slutty?" in an effort to locate victims for Epstein. Prince Andrew finally admits what we all suspected. In an interview with the Daily Mail, Carolyn Andriano, who was a prosecution witness in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial and was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein and Giuffre when she was 14 years old, revealed that Giuffre informed her in 2001, when she was 17 years old, that she had slept with Prince Andrew. Giuffre allegedly told her, "I got to sleep with him," according to her statement. She appeared unfazed by it. In her opinion, that was fairly awesome. Paul Page, a former Royal Protection officer who was convicted and sentenced to 6 years in 2009 for a £3 million real estate investment scam, recounted Maxwell's regular visits to Buckingham Palace in an ITV documentary, raising the possibility that the two had an intimate relationship. Lady Victoria Hervey corroborated this, adding that Andrew was present at social events hosted by Maxwell. The Little Black Book of Maxwell and Epstein, which contained the contact information of their influential and renowned pals, also included the Duke of York's name and the numbers for Buckingham Palace, Sunninghill Park, Wood Farm, and Balmoral. One of the tour guides identified Maxwell as the one who led us into Buckingham Palace in a February 2022 photo that appeared in the Daily Telegraph. which depicted Andrew and Maxwell showing Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey about Buckingham Palace. While serving a jail sentence in October 2022, Ghislaine Maxwell was interviewed by a documentary filmmaker. When asked about her connection with Andrew, Maxwell said that she felt bad for him, but that their friendship couldn't survive her conviction. The association is costing him a lot of money. He is a great friend of mine. I have feelings for him. In 2015, she emailed her lawyer to confirm that she recognized her own house. But the entire image cannot be authentic since the original has never been produced. She continued by saying that she now believed the photograph showing her together with Andrew and Virginia Giuffre was not a true image. The inmate said in a separate interview that the photo was a fake. There's never been an original, and further, there is no photograph, while speaking from behind bars. The only thing I've ever seen of it was a photocopy. Photographer Michael Thomas approached the Mail on Sunday, who had published the photograph in 2011, and asked for 39 copies of the image, front and back, following the allegations. The photo was developed and printed in a 1-hour photo lab at Walgreens in Florida, close to Giuffre's former house, on the 13th of March 2001, 3 days after Andrew reportedly had sexual relations with Giuffre, according to the timestamp on the reverse. While in the tub, he started licking my toes, between my toes, the arches of my feet, according to Giuffre, who asserts that this was the first night of their alleged intercourse. In an interview with the BBC in 2019, she restated these assertions. This is what she had to say about the bathroom in her unpublished memoir. It was a beige marble-tiled floor with a porcelain Victorian-style bathtub in the middle of the room. Ian Maxwell, Ghislaine's brother, denied the allegations in January 2023 by publishing images of people he knew sitting in the bathtub, the claimed scene of the crime. In the event that Giuffre was summoned to testify, the photographs were first set aside to be used as evidence by Ghislaine Maxwell's legal team. Photos show conclusively that the bath is too small for any sort of sex frolicking, Ian Maxwell believed. The linked bathroom layout in the photographs disproved Giuffre's assertion that there is a Victorian bath. The United States District Court for the Southern District of New York released a slew of Epstein-related documents in January 2024. Among them was a 2015 motion from 2 women describing Andrew having sex with one of them, allegedly Giuffre, at Maxwell's flat in London and New York and on Epstein's private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, in an orgy with numerous other underage girls. Andrew only went to Epstein's private island once, according to Maxwell, who also noted in another document that the only women present were staff. Further, she claimed to have no recollection of ever having introduced Andrew to Giuffre. Worker Juan Alessi at Epstein's Palm Beach home testified under oath that Andrew spent weeks with us and got daily massages in another confidential document. Johanna Sjoberg said that Andrew touched her breast while she sat on his lap. This allegation was mentioned in another deposition. While the Metropolitan Police have stated they would not be initiating an investigation into the claims, they have promised to review any new and relevant material that may surface. Servant and reporters claim Andrew is rude. Andrew told Los Angeles County Supervisor Kenneth Hahn, "I enjoyed that," after squirting paint on American and British reporters and photographers covering his 4-day Southern California trip in 1984. The event destroyed reporters' clothing and tools. The Los Angeles Herald-Examiner sent a $1,200 claim to the British consulate requesting reimbursement. The Guardian said in 2022, "His direct approach with staff is well documented. A senior footman once warned a Buckingham Palace undercover agent that on waking the prince, the response can easily be, 'Fuck off' as good morning." In an ITV documentary, former Royal Protection Officer Paul Page claimed that Andrew had a collection of 50 or 60 stuffed toys and would yell and scream and become verbally abusive if the maids neglected to put them back in the correct order. Page subsequently said in the documentary, Prince Andrew banished that several women would visit Andrew every day, and when one was denied access into his apartment by the security, Andrew supposedly branded one of the officers a fat, lardy-ass cunt over the phone. Charlotte Briggs, the Duke's former maid, also remembered arranging the teddy bears on his bed and told the Sun that when her Norfolk Terrier bit her in 1996, she merely laughed and wasn't bothered. She said that Andrew's actions were unlike those of his brothers Charles and Edward, who weren't anything like him, and her father Philip, whom she said was so nice and gentle. She said she was brought to tears by Andrew for not properly closing the heavy curtains in his office. Andrew routinely overstepped the boundary, making eerie sexual remarks when Emma Gruenbaum, a massage therapist, visited to give him one. Gruenbaum wanted to know when Andrew last had sex, and Andrew discussed sex constantly during the first massage. Gruenbaum said Andrew scheduled frequent massages for about 2 months, and she thought requests for massages ended when he knew he would not get any. Allegations of racist language. Rohan Silva, a former Downing Street advisor, asserted that Andrew had made the following remark when they first met in 2012. "Well, if you'll pardon the expression, that really is the nigger in the woodpile." In addition, Jackie Smith, who had previously served as the Home Secretary, asserts that Andrew made a racist remark about Arabs in 2007 while he was attending a state dinner for the Saudi royal family. All allegations that Andrew had used racist language on either occasion were refuted by Buckingham Palace Humanitarian Works. The Middle East Association, MOA, is the most prominent organization in the United Kingdom that works to promote trade and good ties with the Middle East, North Africa, Turkey, and Iran. The Duke served as the principal patron of the MEA. After his position as Special Representative for International Trade and Investment came to an end, Andrew continued to provide help to businesses in the United Kingdom, even though he did not have a specific job. According to Robert Jobson, he did a good job with this work, and he said that he is particularly passionate when dealing with young startup entrepreneurs and bringing them together with successful businesses at networking and showcasing events. His approaches appear to be effective, and Andrew is straightforward and gets right to the point. Additionally, the Duke was a member of the Scout Association and served as a patron of the charitable organization Fight for Sight, which contributes to the advancement of research into the prevention and treatment of blindness and eye illness. Within the context of his employment in the Canadian military, he routinely traveled throughout the country to carry out duties. Prince Andrew was said to be very well informed on Canadian military methods, according to Rick Peters, who had previously served as the commanding officer of the Royal Highland Fusiliers of Canada. In the year 2003, he held the position of patron for the charitable organization known as Attend. Additionally, he was a member of the International Advisory Board of the Royal United Services Institute. The Outward Bound Trust and the Royal Marines Charitable Trust Fund were the two organizations that benefited from Andrew's participation in the abseiling down of the Shard, which is the highest skyscraper in Europe, on September 3, 2012. Andrew was one of 40 persons who participated in the fundraising event. Through his role as patron of Catalyst Inc. and Teen Tech, the Duke of York has demonstrated his commitment to funding organizations that are centered on the fields of science and technology. Andrew traveled to Geneva, Switzerland in 2014 to attend the celebrations of the 60th anniversary of the European Organization for Nuclear Research. In his capacity as the United Kingdom's Special Representative for International Trade and Investment, the Duke of York attended the World Economic Forum on the Middle East in the year 2008. Within the year 2013, it was declared that Andrew will be taking on the role of patron for both London Metropolitan University and the University of Huddersfield University. Additionally, he was appointed to the position of Chancellor of the University of Huddersfield in July of 2015. It was on May 1, 2018, that Andrew was elected to an honorary fellowship at Hughes Hall in the University of Cambridge. This honor was bestowed upon him in acknowledgement of his efforts to encourage entrepreneurial endeavors. On November 19, 2019, the Students' Union of the University of Huddersfield passed a vote to persuade Andrew to quit as its chancellor. This was in response to the fact that London Metropolitan University was contemplating an opportunity for Andrew to serve as the university's patron. On November 21st, Andrew stepped down from his position as Chancellor of the University of Huddersfield with immediate effect. Andrew took up the patronage of the Outward Bound Trust from his father, the Duke of Edinburgh, in March of 2019. He served in this capacity until his own departure in November of 2019. Beginning in the year 1999, Prince Andrew has been serving as the chairman of the Board of Trustees for the organization being discussed. An announcement was made in May 2019, stating that Andrew had taken over as the patron of the Royal Fine Art Commission Trust, succeeding Lord Carrington in that role. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this chilling revelation and subscribe for thrilling videos like this.